And with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and toss it over to PeteDorr with his run of Irritating Stick. Take it away.
All right, hello everybody. I am PeteDorr, and this is Irritating Stick, a game that is pretty well known for, well, it's a very interesting name, but also among people that have played it, it's also known as one of the hardest PlayStation 1 games out there. Real quick before we begin, I also want to plug, right after this, I have a Mawaza run coming up, and there's a donation incentive for that about to end. It's a war between character selection between a boy character, a waifu girl character, or a giant panda. So if you would like to see one of those three characters chosen, somebody put in a $100 donation for the boy out of nowhere. So panda fans, waifu fans, you know, show us what you've got. Also, just a quick heads up, this game is very intensive on focus, so there are a lot of areas where I have to kind of focus. I got Authorblues on the couch at me. Hi. And just so it's not super awkward, the first 15 seconds of this game, I'm going to be completely quiet because the first level is really hard to play while commentating. So we'll get a countdown ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, so this is Irritating Stick. Pete has the ability to control his speed, so he's going to be going at 5 speed for this entire game, for the most part. And he sat me down before this run and made me play this level at 5 speed, and I can see now why he's unwilling to talk for the beginning of this run. So it's sort of like confirmed the reason why I'm here.
So yeah, we're out of the harder part of the first level here, and it's a very high reset point for me in my normal runs. Because going through there at max speed, which Offset I've been doing for almost the entire game, is no joke. It's pretty hard to talk through that. So this is the second level, even harder. This level also features skips. I'm going to be going for all the hard skips in this game. I want to try and show off everything this game has to offer, so here's the first one. I need to be quiet. Okay, we got that one. Nice. Very precise there. It skips a cycle of the jackpot.
He makes this look really easy, but after attempting it for only a few minutes, I consider myself something of an expert, and it's actually incredibly difficult.
Okay, we got the second hard skip. Now the game is controlling the camera angles here as well, and these are the hardest sections in the game, the 3D maze sections. I have to go down to speed 3 there because it's pretty much impossible at speed 5.
Watch out! You're too close to the edge!
One more focus section. Okay, so this game is actually based on a Japanese television show, the name of which is so long that I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it. So just go to Wikipedia, look up Irritating Stick. You'll get the name for the Japanese game. And the show, actually, that it's based on. And the really cool thing is, if you search for the Japanese text of the show, one moment.
It's the flame.
Okay, first death. So deaths are going to be expected in this run, especially during some of these harder sections. This is one of my least favorite parts of the run right here. Okay, we're good. But yeah, if you look it up on YouTube, the really cool part is, the game is like 1-for-1 with the show, so it's actually people that will hold a stick, which, let me show you, this is what I'm playing as, right? This stick right here. Someone will hold a stick and move it through, sort of like playing the board game Operation. As long as they don't touch anything in these obstacle courses, they can make it through to the end, and sort of like contestant elimination style game show. And all of these levels that you see here, including these 3D sections, are in the show. Like, it's really cool. When I watched the show, it was like, wow, I'm watching a real-life version of the game. And they have these really cool robots, especially this one here. I'll leave it up to your imagination, but there's something in the show that the game does not do, probably to avoid an M rating. But you can check out the videos if you're curious. There's an extra obstacle there that's not present in the game.
You're too close to the edge!
Also,
I love this commentator.
This game's got quite the bangers for a soundtrack, so I'm actually going to be quiet here so you can appreciate the music a little bit, get some sour pleases in chat. Also, I have to wait for the 5th cycle here in order to move.
Watch out!
This turn here in particular, I usually go down to speed 4 for safety.
how your performance stacks up. Pretty good.
All right, don't let the name fool you. Elementary is anything but. It's actually the easiest level in the game, but it's still pretty difficult.
The elementary course. But don't be fooled by the name.
The announcer makes this game, by the way, if you're paying attention. It's also quite accurate to the show, because on the show there's a Japanese guy screaming at the contestants the entire time. So my viewers, when I stream this game, typically tell me, Speed 4 here, typically tell me, oh, why don't you just turn the announcer off? I'm like, no, that is part of the experience of playing Irritating Stick. I could have caught a little bit of a faster cycle there, but marathon safety.
Let's see how your performance stacks up.
It's really easy when you're playing with a DualShock controller to overcorrect your movements, and Pete plays this really clean. I mean, I certainly have not practiced any amount, but just playing this, I realized how much more difficult this is than Pete makes it look.
It's very sensitive. It's more sensitive than you would expect, especially when you're playing on Speed 5. It looks pretty easy, but actually, hold on. This is, if we can get some donations in, we have about 50 seconds. This is the only point for donations in the run.
Yeah, we got a $15 donation from a donator named We Got a $15 Donation with a comment saying we got a $15 donation from. So there you go. We got a $50 donation from Caroline22 with no comment. So thank you so much for that.
Could fit in 2 more.
All right, we got a $20 donation from Kais. Says, always happy to donate when GDQ is running. Great community for a great cause. And we got a $10 anonymous donation that just says, Uru.
Could fit in 1 or 2 more quick ones.
And got a $10 donation from McCoy. No comment, but again, thank you so much for the donation.
Okay, this is another focus section here. This is the Uzumaki spiral, so let me just focus on this here.
Watch out! You're too close to the edge!
It's actually my favorite part of the run. I don't know why, it's just so fun to go through that every time.
It's unbelievable that you can do that at 5 speed.
Performance stacks up. Awesome. That's all I can...
All right, we are really close to the last level, second to last here.
Attempt the near impossible. It's the advanced course.
Can't figure out if this is like that little visual glitch there. I can't figure out if that's intentional or not. Speed 4 for safety. Now this is one of the only RNG areas of the game. Falling, wow, I got really lucky there. Objects can fall there and they can hit me and cause me to respawn at a checkpoint. But there, nothing spawned on the second side. When I first started running this, those sections there with the moving top of the head section there, I used to go through that at about 3 or 4 speed, but now I'm able to go through at 5. These are the kind of strats I have to use because right before leaving for GDQx, I actually got the world record in this for the first time, which was a big achievement for me. I had to implement the really hard strats that you saw in level 2 in order to get it. All right, so if I'm fast enough here, I can catch a quick cycle. Oh, just made that.
Watch out! You're too close to the edge!
And if I make it through there quick enough, then we also catch the good cycle at the end there.
Let's see how your performance stacks up.
All right, last level. This is the Monk S level for sure, because towards the end of this, there are no checkpoints, and if I mess up, it's quite a bit of a time loss, but we'll be fine. My estimate also, you can see, is pretty generous. That is because, well, I honestly thought I'd be crashing a little bit more during a marathon run of this, but this is, I'm happy with the run so far.
Accidentally doing too well.
These horses are an obstacle, by the way, so I can't move into those.
That was fast. Checkpoint.
Okay. This is what I call the teacup skip. This is a skip I found that doesn't necessarily make it go faster, but boy, does it look cool. And I find it a little bit easier than actually doing this the normal way.
Watch out! You're
Oh
too
my
close to
God.
the edge!
have to do that at speed 2.
Here you go.
As long as you take the left path through these mazes every time. They are random, but it'll always get me out cleanly. Ooh.
What's going on?
That's okay. Hey, you get to see it again. So unfortunately, that's world record pace dead there. I was probably on world record pace, to be honest with you. But in case you missed it, here we go again, teacup skip. Also, one little tidbit. I actually play this game on a HD TV at home. I know that's crazy. So I'm used to playing this with input delay. So I had to get accustomed to playing this on a CRT at GDQ. But I found it actually, it does make this game a lot smoother to play. Right, let me make sure I get through here. Extra careful. Like I said, this last level has some really brutal checkpoints, and that is the last checkpoint of the level. So if I do mess up here, I will be respawning all the way back there. These are some really intense movement sections here. It's way harder than it looks to make these turns with the analog.
Hurry!
The game almost forces you to go through here at speed 5, because if you're too slow, the roller coaster will hit you. I hope I get a good log cycle coming up here. Last thing I'll mention about this game, you can actually play it with the PlayStation 1 mouse, which I tried. However, it makes the game near impossible to play because they actually expect you to like lift and drag the mouse as you're playing, and yeah, that doesn't work with this game, especially in a speedrun setting.
What's this sign?
The final gatekeeper, the moose on the top of the mountain. There's actually a skip where you can skip the first rock that I avoided, but the moose will prevent me from saving any time because he waits for the roller coaster. All right, and this is the final stretch coming up here.
A steady hand.
All right, and get ready on time. And time.
You did it. Congratulations. Let's see how your performance stacks up.
So that was Irritating Stick. Not bad with only, I think, what was it, 2 crashes?
Yeah.
Pretty happy with that. So coming up next is going to be Mawaza on the PlayStation 2. Obviously, the game everybody knows in the marathon schedule. It's actually a Japanese PS2 puzzle game. Once again, last chance to get your donations in for the character choice incentive for that between the panda, the waifu, and the boy. And we'll be back with that in a little bit. Thank you.
All right, you heard Pete, guys. If you want to get those donations in for Mawaza, the character choice, the girl is currently leading. But if you would like to see the giant panda or the boy, get those donations in. We would like to remind everybody that GDQ Express is benefiting able gamers. There are millions of people with disabilities who can't play video games without expensive, specialized equipment. The Able Gamers charity helps gamers with disabilities by providing that equipment free of charge. Their mission is to create opportunities that enable play in order to combat social isolation, foster inclusive communities, and improve the quality of life for people with disabilities. We have a $25 donation from Mary Merkel. It says, proud of you all for the good you are doing, and shout out to Cool Maddie. And just a reminder, everybody, we do have some incentives lined up, such as the Tetris 99 Battle Royale here in a couple hours. If you'd like to see that, definitely get those donations going, because you do not want to miss a Tetris speedrun. Along with that, we also have the Super Mario 64 randomizer to get upgraded to a full 120-star run. So again, if you'd like to see that, get those donations rolling. We've got a $50 anonymous donation. No comment, but again, thank you so much for your generous donation. Alrighty, while they continue setting up for Malazar, we're going to go ahead and play a short Twitch ad, so stay tuned.